Hello, everybody. This is Don McLean, and we're here to play some music for you. Before we do, I want to just quickly introduce everybody on stage. On the bass here is Brad Albin. On the guitar here is Kerry Marks. And here we have Mike Sievers on the second guitar and Tony Migliore on the piano. And they've all been with me for many years, through many tours. So we don't have our drummer with us, Jerry Kroon, today. But we'll do the best we can. And this is the title song of an album I released a few years ago called Botanical Gardens. I leave the noise and the dark city canyons and walk through gates of wrought iron black. There lies a world that's transformed before me. When I arrive, will I ever go back? I take a walk through botanical gardens, look for the faces of those pretty young girls, just like the flowers that bloom all around me. I fall in love in this colorful world. You might go walking and thinking of nothing. Perhaps your love life is caught in a bind. They're in a flowery dress in the sunlight. You'll find somebody who will change your mind. She's haunting me. She looms in my memory. That beautiful face with perfume in the air. She brushes my arm, smiles ever faintly. A feminine vision with the sun in her hair. We might go walking and thinking of nothing. Perhaps your love life is caught in a bind. They're in a flowery dress in the sunlight. You'll find somebody who will change your mind. The colorful birds in botanical gardens all fly away to a breezy lagoon where lovers can swim in the warm summer waters, surrounded by flowers in the light of the moon. All right. Getting late, the gates will be closing. Shall I remain or go back to the world? Shall I remain in botanical gardens, surrounded by flowers and those beautiful girls? Shall I remain in botanical gardens, surrounded by flowers and those beautiful girls? I love those flowers and those beautiful girls. Man, I dig those flowers and those beautiful girls. Okay, botanical gardens. A little bit more. Yeah. Now, this one here is another song from that album, and we love to sing this one. This is called The Lucky Guy. It starts like this. I'm the lucky one. I'm a lucky guy when it comes to love. You're the reason why, you're the reason why we've been having fun. Oh, when it comes to love, I'm the lucky one. Play a little now. Just for fun. You're a silver swirl in a crystal maze. You're a lazy girl on a silken chaise. You're a royal flush and a string of pearls. You're a champagne blush and you're the best of girls, and I'm the lucky one. Lucky guy when it comes to love. You're the reason why, you're the reason why we've been having fun. Oh, when it comes to love, I'm the lucky one. Let's play again now. You're a cat that squeals in pretty blue high heels. You're a ching-a-ling with a diamond ring. You got a tender touch and a searching eye. You're much too much for any other guy, and I'm the lucky one. Lucky guy when it comes to love. You're the reason why, you're the reason why we've been having fun. When it comes to love, I'm the lucky one. Oh, when it comes to love, I'm the lucky one. Oh, when it comes to love, the lucky one. Lucky guy. You know, we travel all over. We've been to many countries. This particular group has been with me through many tours, hundreds of one-nighters. And, but my piano player over here, Tony Migliori, has been with me now for well over 35 years. And one thing about Tony is he can play the pop songs with the right chords as well as play everything else. So every now and then we like to do a song that's just a popular song, and I tell people that I'm working on becoming an alcoholic, and so when I do, I sing this song. Drinking again and thinking of when you loved me. I'm having a few, wishing that you were here, making the rounds accepting a round from strangers. I'm just being a fool, hoping that you'll appear. I can borrow a smoke, I can tell some joker a bad joke, but nobody laughs at a broken heart. Oh yes, I'm drinking again. It's always the same, that same old story. After the kicks, there's little old mixed up me, trying to lose a dream that used to be. Johnny Mercer. Okay, Tony Migliore on the piano. Throughout my career, writing of songs, I've tried to write every now and then a pop song. There's only three kinds of songs that I understand: old-fashioned popular music, early rock and roll, and folk music. And I put those together in the songs that I write. So this song was on the first album I ever made called Tapestry. And I guess I got lucky because it sort of has become, I think, a pop standard. People use it at weddings, and it's been recorded by all sorts of different wonderful artists through the years, most especially Elvis Presley. So here's a little bit of And I Love You So. And I love you so. The people ask me how I've lived till now. I tell them I don't know. I guess they understand how lonely life has been. Life began again. The day you took my hand. Yes, I know how lonely life can be. The shadows follow me, and the night won't set me free. But I don't let the evening get me down. Now that you're around me, and you love me too. Your thoughts are just for me. You set my spirit free. I'm happy that you do. The book of life is brief. Once the page is read, all but love is dead. This is my belief. And yes, I know how loveless life can be. The shadows follow me, and the night won't set me free. But I don't let the evening get me down. Now that you're around me, and I love you so. The people ask me how I've lived till now. I tell them I don't know. And I love you so. We like to do older rock and roll songs, the stuff that's got 3 chords, which is about all I can understand. And as I said, some folk songs and songs that were recorded by different groups back in the 50s and the 60s are my favorites. That's what I like. And here's a song that sums up my whole life, really. Let's see if we can just have fun with it with the guitar players. Some people say I'm on no account. Others say I'm no good. But I'm just a natural born traveling man, doing what I think I should. Doing what I think I should. And I don't give a damn about a greenback dollar. Spend it fast as I can for a Wayland song and a good guitar, the only things that I understand. The only things that I understand. When I was a little baby, my mama told me, son, travel where you will, grow to be a man and sing what must be sung. Sing what must be sung. And I don't give a damn about a greenback dollar. Spend it fast as I can for a Wayland song and a good guitar, the only things that I understand. The only things that I understand. Hey, Mike Taylor. Okay, Carrie. a damn about a greenback dollar. Spend it fast as I can for a wailing song and a good guitar. The only things that I understand. The only things that I understand. Well, now that I'm a grown man, I've traveled here and there. I've learned that a bottle of brandy and a song are the only ones who ever care. The only ones who ever care. Oh yeah! And I don't give a damn about a greenback dollar. Spend it fast as I can for a wailing song and a good guitar. The only things that I understand. The only things that I understand. Like I said, some people say I'm a no account, and others say I'm no good. But I'm just a natural born traveling man, doing what I think I should. Doing what I think I should. And I don't give a damn about a greenback dollar. Spend it fast as I can for a wailing song and a good guitar. The only things that I understand. The only things that I understand. They are the only things that I understand. That's right. The only things that I understand. Little sister, don't you? Little sister, don't you? Little sister, don't you kiss me once or twice. Say it's very nice and then you run. That's it. Little sister, don't you do what your big sister done. Well, I dated your big sister. I took her to a show. I went for some candy. Along came Jim Dandy. She jumped right out the door. Little sister, don't shout. Little sister, don't shout. Little sister, don't you kiss me once or twice. Say it's very nice, then you run. Little sister, don't you do what your big sister done. Well, I used to pull your pigtails and pinch your turned up nose. But you've been growing and baby, it's been showing from your head down to your toes. Little sister, don't you? Little sister, don't you? Little sister, don't you kiss me once or twice. Say it's very nice, then you run. Little sister, don't you do what your big sister done. Okay, Mike, play a little guitar now. Carrie Marks. Well, every time sister. Man, she's always got someone new. She's mean and she's evil like that little old boy evil. Guess I'll try my luck with you. Little sister, don't you? Little sister, don't you? Little sister, don't you kiss me once or twice. It's very nice, then you run. Little sister, don't you do what your big sister done. Little sister, don't you do what your big sister done. Little sister, why don't you do what your big sister done? You know, I like to write about rock and roll, and I wrote a pretty famous song about rock and rolls, and Buddy Holly and Big Bopper and the great Richie Valens. It goes like this, doesn't it? A long, long time ago, I can still remember how that music used to make me smile. And I knew if I had my chance that I could make those people dance. Maybe they'd be happy for a while. But February made me shiver with every paper I deliver. Bad news on the doorstep. I couldn't take one more step. I can't remember if I cried when I read about his widowed bride. But something touched me deep inside the day. The music died. Man, that's pretty. So bye bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Did you write the book of love? Do you have faith in God above? If the Bible tells you so. Now do you believe in rock and roll? Can music save your mortal soul? Can you teach me how to dance real slow? Well, I know that you're in love with him, 'cause I saw you dancing in the gym. You both kicked off your shoes. I dig those rhythm and blues. I was a lonely teenage bronc and bug with a pink carnation and a pickup truck. But I knew I was out of love the day the music died. Sing it, boy. I started singing bye bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Now for 10 years we've been on our own. Moss grows fat on a rolling stone, but that's not how it used to be. When the jester sang for the king and queen in a coat he borrowed from James Dean, in a voice that came from you and me. while the king was looking down, jester stole his thorny crown. The courtroom was adjourned. No verdict was returned, while Lennon read a book on Marx, a quartet practiced in the park. We sang dirges in the dark. The day the music died. Yeah, we were singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove the Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Helter skelter in the summer swelter, birds flew off with the fallout shells. 8 miles high and falling fast, landed foul on the grass. Players tried for a forward pass, with a jester on the sidelines in a cab. Now the halftime air was sweet perfume, while the sergeants played their marching tune. We all got up to dance. We never got the chance. The players tried to take the field. The marching band refused to yield. You recall what was revealed the day the music died. We started singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove the Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys drinking whiskey and rye, saying this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Oh, and there we were all in one place, generation lost in space, with no time left to start again. So come on, Jack, be nimble, Jack, be quick. Jack Flash sat on his candlestick, 'cause fire is the devil's only friend. Oh, and as I watched him on the stage, my hands were clenched in fists of rage. No angel born in hell could break that Satan spell. As the flames climbed high into the night to light the sacrificial rite, I saw Satan laughing with delight the day the music died. He was singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove the Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, saying this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Well, I met a girl who sang the blues, and I asked her for some happy news, but she just smiled and turned blue. And I went down to the sacred store, where I'd heard the music years before, but the man there said the music wouldn't play. In the streets, the children screamed, the lovers cried, and the poets dreamed, but not a word was spoken. The church bells all were broken, and the 3 men I admire the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost caught the last train for the coast. The day the music died, and they were singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Yeah, they were singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die. American Pie. Well, usually from the American Pie album, you know, we have a 50th anniversary, believe it or not, coming up in 2021 of the American Pie album. It's got a lot of songs on there that people know. I guess millions and millions of people have bought that record, as well as many other records that I made in the 1970s. And you can find them all now on this YouTube channel. The Don McLean YouTube channel, you can go on there and find 11 more albums that have been released with 173 tracks that were out through the years, but now they're all in one place. And we're going to come out with a new album at the end of the year, near the end of the year, called Still Playing Favorites. And the original Playing Favorites album was the fourth album I put out for United Artists, and I was getting so tapped out as a songwriter that I decided I wanted to make a record of some songs that I didn't write, because I love to sing, and songwriting is not all that easy for me. So after an album called the Don McLean album, which is the third album I made, we came out with Still Playing Favorites. And, you know, as usual, I got flack for it, but it didn't really matter, because I really enjoy the exercise of interpreting other performers' music. So I was lucky, because on this album, there was an Irish song called the Mountains of Mourne, and it became #1 in Ireland. And to this day, I mean, it is probably more popular than any of my other hit records in Ireland. It was written by a man named Percy French, and he's sort of a legend, and I'll sing you some of it. Oh, Mary, this London's a wonderful sight, with people here working by day and by night. They don't sow potatoes, nor barley, nor wheat, but there's gangs of 'em digging for gold in the street. At least when I asked them, that's what I was told. So I just took a hand at this digging for gold. But for all that I found there, might as well be where the mountains of Mourne sweep down to the sea. I believe that when writing a wish you expressed as to how the fine ladies in London were dressed, if you'll believe me, when asked to a ball, they don't wear no tops on their dresses at all. Seen them myself, and you could not in truth tell it if they were bound for a ball or a bath. Don't be starting them fashions now, Mary McCree, where the mountains of Mourne sweep down to the sea. There's beautiful girls here, oh, never you mind. Beautiful shapes nature never designed. Lovely complexions of roses and cream. But let me remark with regard to the same, that if that those roses you venture to sip, colors might all come away on your lip. So I'll wait for the wild rose that's waiting for me in the place where the dark morn sweeps down to the sea. I believe that when writing a wish you expressed as to how the fine ladies in London were dressed, well, if you'll believe me, when asked to a ball, they don't wear no tops on their dresses at all. I made a mistake. I'm gonna sing the right last verse. You remember young Denny McLaren, of course. Well, he's over here with the rest of the force. I saw him one day as he stood on the Strand and stopped all the traffic with a wave of his hand. And as we were chatting of days that are gone, whole town of London stood there to look on. But for all his great power, he's wishful like me to be back where the dark morn sweeps down to the sea. The Mountains of Mourne. You could imagine the shock of finding out that was #1 in Ireland. And these guys have toured Ireland with me, and they love their music and they love to drink. And so we have a great time together. And they love to sing along, so they get, a little high or a little happy, and they start singing that beautiful song. And I've sung it in stadiums, and I've sung it in nightclubs and all over, theaters everywhere all over the world. But in Ireland, of course, that's theirs. And so I want to do a song just with the piano now. This is from the American Pie album. It's a song called Crossroads, and we've always done this in our shows. So let's take a shot at it. I've got nothing on my mind, nothing to remember, nothing to forget, and I've got nothing to regret. But I'm all tied up on the inside. No one knows quite what I've got. And I know that on the outside, what I used to be, I'm not anymore. I've heard about people like me, but I never made the connection. They walk one road to set them free, find they've gone the wrong direction. But there's no need for turning back. All roads lead to where I stand. And I believe I'll walk them all, no matter what I may have planned. Can you remember who I was? Can you still feel it? Can you find my pain? Can you heal it? Then lay your hands upon me now. Cast this darkness from my soul. You alone can light my way. You alone can make me whole once again. We've walked both sides of every street, through all kinds of windy weather, but that was never our defeat. Long as we could walk together, so there's no need for turning back, 'cause all roads lead to where we stand. And I believe we'll walk them all, no matter what we may have planned. Tony Migliore on the piano. Vincent, also known as Starry Night. And I think it was Robert Burns that said, the Scottish poet, The best laid plans of mice and men oft times doth go astray. So we find ourselves in predicaments we never imagined we'd be in, even though we've planned very carefully for something else. This is a song called Vincent. It's being done now by quite a number of young performers: Ed Sheeran, James Blake. I couldn't do a show without doing it for you. Starry, starry night, paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hills, sketch the trees and the daffodils. Catch the breeze and the winter chills in colors on the snowy linen land. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity. How you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Starry, starry night, flaming flowers that brightly blaze, swirling clouds in violet haze, reflect in Vincent's eyes of china blue, colors changing hue. Morning fields of amber grain, weathered faces lined in pain are soothed beneath the artist's loving hand. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity. How you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now, for they could not love you. Still your love was true. When no hope was left in sight, on that starry, starry night, you took your life as lovers often do. But I could have told you, Vincent, this world was never meant for one as beautiful as you. Starry, starry night, portraits hung in empty halls, frameless heads on nameless walls, with eyes that watch the world and can't forget, like the strangers that you've met. The ragged men in ragged clothes, a silver thorn, a bloody rose, lie crushed and broken on the virgin snow. Now I think I know what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they're not listening still. Perhaps they never will. It's Vincent. I want to say something now. I had a long friendship for about 7 or 8 years with a man named Pete Seeger, who every now and then would give me some very good advice because he'd seen everything. And when I got famous, I had just been a kid, that used to write to him. He got to know me better. So then suddenly I was singing with him. And I got very famous overnight. And he looked and he said, you're going to find out what it's like to be a valuable property now. And that was an important thing that he said, because that was really the end of the fun part of my career, my life, whatever, the adventure. Now it was your valuable property. Later on, a few years later, he said to me, I guess he knew I was having some trouble. Out of the clear blue, he said, don't ever commit suicide. He'd known quite a few singers and songwriters who'd done this. He said, you never know what's going to happen. Stick around, see what happens next. It may seem very dark. It may seem like you can never come out of this. But you learn to put one foot in front of the other. And you march out, and a year or two from now, you'll look back, and you'll be having the best time of your life. Things will be different. You'll have grown, you'll have survived, and you'll be stronger. And this is a wonderful old song. You can just sing out on this one. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Well, Monday gave me the gift of love. A Tuesday, peace came from above. Wednesday told me to watch and pray. Thursday told me just what to say. Friday put me down in my place. Saturday gave me a little more grace. And Sunday gave me the power divine to let my little light shine. Here we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.